Hey guys, welcome back. So this is just a quick update video, just to show you that I'm currently working on the GPU. As you can see, we have all the components back in place. I just repaired the pad over here, got the components back in place, but I'm not soldering these two back right now because I want to include this in the repair video as well as this, but I'm going to mention it right here. These two pads are damaged, and I noticed this after I removed all of these components. It was not like these two MOSFETs were stuck down. The only one that was stuck was in my first video. I think it was this one that I had to repair. This was stuck and didn't go easy off of the PCB, or rather it was easy to desolder. But these two were easy to desolder, but we have damage nonetheless. So this shows you that something major must have happened, or we have I don't know, maybe heat related damage. I'm not too sure, but yeah, so it shows that the GPU went through quite a lot. But this damage over here I did at some point. I tried to remove this inductor and I cracked it, got the piece back in place, used some how's it called? Just glue. Let's call it glue. It's this quick, dry, very strong glue. I just can't remember how it's called. Yes, and glued the housing back together. This is just the ferrous material. It doesn't matter. It's not like electrically connected. It's magnetically connected because this is the inductor, and the glue doesn't do anything. Well, it does do something if we are 100% accurate, but in this case it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's what I'm working right now. When the GPU is done and I tested it, I can finally go to something else. Like this thing over here, which I haven't published yet, and I won't publish. Right, I won't publish until the GPU is done. This was my attempt on doing a spot welder that uses a welder. I had bought a welder of Banggood, tried to use one of these spot welding circuits and a bit of modification. Yeah, it didn't quite work. And what else? Oh yeah, the hot air gun. The hot air gun makes weird noise, so I have to open up the handle. I wanted to look inside this thing anyway to just make sure that everything is okay. I think it is. I mean, when I made a review, everything seems to well, be correctly made. We have a fuse, we have proper grounding, but I just want to look inside to make sure that's actually the case. The soldering iron is working perfectly, but I also wanted to revisit this thing because it was so cheap. It's so good, and the handle, the tip that I'm using is currently the knife type, which is often said to be the worst of all of the tips, but I actually enjoyed using when doing the S&D work over here. I don't know, it's just my preference. And I want to also show the other one, which is the chisel type that I used for the most part, which is still working, which is quite interesting because this thing is now, how old is it? 3 years old? Maybe, yeah, 3 years. So it held up quite nicely, and yeah, and there are other things. I mean, I have a whole pile of stuff over here that I have to work through, and still stuff over here that I have to do, and other things oh yeah, I got the old welding machine, or the old welder from my granddad. It's not a very expensive machine, but it definitely has a old school transformer inside. We have some cable damage and other things, so I have to repair this. This is something that I'm either going to do before I release this video or after this one, but yeah, we will see. It really comes down to how I feel, because doing this work, it's so tedious. I mean, I was working on this today for I don't know, 3-4 hours, and I just made the repair this trace repair and get these components back in place, and that's everything I did in 4 hours. Now, right now I am still sick, so I don't have to do stuff at university, but in a few months I'm going back there, well, to the regular schedule. And now I'm going to awkwardly extend this video a bit longer for a quick explanation. So, as you can see, the scenery has changed, and the video that you just saw, well, I filmed this I think it was 4 weeks after I released my last video, which was about the GPU, and I intended to, well, release the last GPU video as my next video. However, things didn't go as planned. I had to buy some replacement components, and they arrived by now a few weeks back, but then I had to work on the GPU. There was a lot more to do for me, and now I'm finally able to, well, finish the video, but completely forgot that I had this one, the one that you already saw. Didn't publish it, so I'm now going to publish it right now. As you can see, the scenery has changed. There are a few more things. This is my old workbench. I have so many projects that I want to finish before university starts. I will make another video which I'll talk about everything you see here, maybe one or the other thing, and then also release other smaller videos that I actually intended to not release before the final GPU video. But I'm going to do it. I'm always a bit hesitant to release videos that are not like, well, the order of videos that I want to release is, for some reason I'm a bit hesitant to throw other videos in between, but I just have to do it in the future, and I'm still struggling with my stomach pain, so this is another issue that comes from time to time that causes me to not, well, be very active making videos, but I'm working on stuff over here. You can see there's a lot of stuff scattered around. We have power banks, the DC Electronics load project, the big one, finally started. This thing will be capable of handling 400 watt maximum power with a maximum of 60 amp. So that is quite significant. And then we have other things here that I, well, need to do, and even more stuff behind me on my other bench. Tomorrow there will be another part, a bit talking more about this stuff over here and other stuff, and then I will finish up the video because right now I am finally able to wrap up the GPU repair, the GTX 970 repair, and oh my god, this was not a very pleasant experience, I have to say. I learned a lot, but I need to do other projects first before I start another GPU repair. I mean, it's interesting, I want to do it, but I want to also do other projects like these over here before starting a new GPU repair. And I have GPUs, older ones, that I want to try to repair just for fun. But first, these need to go away, these things over here. So I hope you liked the small video, and stay tuned for more.